Hey guys, welcome back to Young Americans Abroad. My name is Austin.
And my name is Patrick.
And guys, welcome back to our show.
Yeah, we got AVT and PAT. They talking about young Americans overseas. We got McKinney, Pulisic, Reyna, and Des. Got that red, white, and blue. USA on the crest from England, Germany, from Belgium to Spain. Racking up all the medals on the trophy train. Got one thing on their mind, we're skill and some love. One day we can say we will win the World Cup.
Well, guys, it is great to be back with you again this week. And Pat, we have some engaging storylines from the weekend. Some good, some bad. We also have a USMNT game this weekend, right? Big matchup versus Mexico. So, yeah, quite an episode we got in plan for you guys today.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Middle of April, the tail end to a lot of the European-based seasons. Obviously, you have MLS and Liga MX going on right now, but MLS really getting to the thick of things too. It's such an interesting time, Austin. We'll get into it further with some of our topics, but this is a nice, I think, much needed break from all the stress us USMNT fans have had with our players, especially abroad. Just focusing on this rivalry with Mexico, enjoying the national team again, all the guys back, and just hopefully adding another W and giving L Tree another L.
Couldn't have said it better, Pat. I really couldn't have. And yeah, it's an interesting time, right? We got a lot of relegation battles going on, or teams not necessarily performing up to the standard that we're looking for. But this weekend we had some good performances, right? That we want to key on, and I think I'm going to jump right in. So the first player we want to start off with today is Gio Reyna. So Gio Reyna, has not really been getting the playing time we've been hoping that he'd get, especially after he started off, 2023 with a, hot streak, right? With scoring goals, and substitute appearances, was getting some good game time. And then things kind of dried up, right? So was subbed on in this game. Dortmund were tied basically with Stuttgart 2-2. He was subbed on in the 82nd minute. So again, a late substitution. Not much time for Gio to make an impact, but an impact he made in this, 8 minutes on the pitch. So before we get to the good stuff, he actually got a yellow card 3 minutes in, or 4 minutes in, I mean. So that was kind of interesting to see right away, getting involved in the action. But the big moment, right, Pat, came in the 93rd minute, just in extra time. Gio scored what was then the go-ahead goal for Dortmund, giving them the 3-2 lead over Stuttgart. And it really came off of a nice, shot, was patient, in the box, waiting for a rebound, just being in a good place to score, right, Pat? Just always being around the ball and capitalizing on an opportunity that kind of fell to him. And he took his moment, scored that crucial goal, put Dortmund up 3-2. You saw him going hype, right, Pat?
We thought that was it. Gio Reyna doing what Gio Reyna does, comes in and saves the day. Thought that was game.
Right? This is like what, the third or the fourth time this season where he's come in, scored a clutch goal for Dortmund, give him that lead. And we were like, all right, that's it. Game, set, match. Gio Reyna plays the hero again. Well, Stuttgart had other ideas right at the death. 97th minute. They came back and scored to draw this game 3-3. And I think we were all feeling the way, you are right there, Pat. We were wanting Gio to, again, be the storyline coming away from this game. And obviously, he got a lot of plaudits this weekend. And, it was good to see him score, right? And get, back on the pitch, so to speak, and get some more playing time. But it just feels a little bit different, right? Without a win for Dortmund.
Yeah, and such a critical time to blow that extra 2 points in the title race with Bayern Munich, also drawing in them being in a huge flux. Or Hollywood over there, right? The Hollywood of Germany.
Yeah.
And Gio did his job. He came on, like you said, he's been doing, and he's been getting even less minutes in game time recently, but came on and scored a clutch goal when they needed one, and they still couldn't hold on. So that could be a huge in the final, month or a few weeks here, the final month, and a title race decider. Bayern Munich, I don't know how many games they're going to slip up. They're such an elite team where Dortmund can't afford to throw away points like that.
Yeah, it would have been the perfect opportunity, right? For them to come back and make up for that game a few weekends ago where, Bayern really took it to them, showed them, just how dominant they are still. And if Dortmund were able to get the win this weekend, that would have put them I believe tied with Bayern on 59 points. They're actually two points back right now in second place. So it would have given them a little bit more hope. Obviously, there's still, a good amount of games left to be played. I think there's 6 more games left for Dortmund this year to kind of try and seal things up. So, basically say all that to say that, Dortmund still have a chance, and we're hoping that Gio becomes more of a part of that chance here in the final home stretch.
They do, Austin. And I'm sorry to hijack here, but all season long, right? You've seen Gio get these spot minutes, clutch goals, right? When he's healthy, he delivers. He got 6 or 7 games left. And I know he's trusted some of these guys throughout the time, but now, again, slipping up points is now the time where Terzic says, hey, Gio, let's throw you into the fire, maybe some starts, maybe even more minutes as opposed to 5 or 10. Does he put more trust, do you think? Like, what's your prediction the last 6 or 7 games? Will we see more of Gio than we did the entire 3 quarters of the season?
I honestly think we will. I think, again, we're going to probably see him off the bench here in the next game or two. I really think, Gio's motivated, right? You saw that after he scored this goal. Like, it meant so much to him. He understands that he's in kind of a tough situation right now. A lot is going on around him outside, off the field. But things aren't necessarily going right for him on the field as well, right? Things out of his control. Playing time is so hard to, win as a player, right? And you can do all you can in training, but somehow at the end of the day, it's still the manager's decision. So, I think, again, from all indications, right, he's doing the right things on the field. He's doing the right things in practice. We haven't heard any quotes coming out about, him causing, any rumblings behind the scenes. So, I think if he can, again, just capitalize on his playing time, perform in the minutes he gets, I really think he has a role to play. That's maybe bigger than he has so far this season with this team at the end of the season here. And I really want to key on a few different stats for that reason. So far this season, he has 6 goals in 531 minutes for Dortmund in the Bundesliga. That, goal per 90 ratio is 1.02 per 90 minutes. That's first on the team right now. And that's almost double the next best player. I think it's Yusufa Moukoko with like 0.60 goals per game. So, he's clearly performing when he's on the pitch. You said it best, Pat. He's when he's getting those minutes on the pitch, he's making an impact. And I really think for this reason, right? He's someone that Dortmund can go to. They know they're going to get something from him when they put him on the field. So I really think just at the end of the season here, when they get a little bit desperate, right, you're going to start feeling that pressure. The more they're searching for results, the more they're feeling Bayern's dominance, right? And I'm sure they're gonna do all they can to keep this title streak going. I just think at some point, the team's going to look to Gio to fill a need, right, and provide for them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I just think you can't just go with the same parts, right, the same pieces and players. If you're starting to blow some points here in such a critical time, again, we talked about where Bayern is, where Dortmund is in the standings, 6 or 7 games. This is probably one of the best shots that they've had. I think they had another close race recently, but in a while to be this close. I mean, I think halfway through the season, it was already like 8, 9, 10-point gap, and then Bayern kind of capitulated a little bit. But I think it'll be interesting to see what happens here for Gio in his minutes and what he can do, because not only is he playing for himself, right, his team to win the Bundesliga, that would be amazing for the fans, but potentially auditioning for other scouts and other teams, right, across Europe. So I know there's still eyes on him, even with the situations, maybe not getting too many minutes, and some of the injuries, right, that kind of derailed him as well. But he's back, he's healthy, he's been delivering with the minutes he's getting, and who knows who else is watching.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think as the season winds down, he's gonna have some, deciding to do, right, this summer is where does he want to, where does he want his career to go, right? Where does he see the best opportunity to get the minutes he feel he deserves? And honestly, this season at Dortmund, it hasn't really, it doesn't seem like he's in the forefront of their plans, or at least it hasn't seemed like that so far this season. So I really think, yeah, we'll have to kind of wait and see what these last 6 games brings for Gio. But as of right now, Pat, I really think that's an opportunity, right? Or something that he's strongly considering leaving Dortmund this summer. And, who knows what his opportunities are? We've heard some transfer rumors over the years, but you got to think, right? With his age, with the production that he's had, his efficiency, right? When he's on the pitch this season, there has to be a lot of teams interested in Gio Reyna's signature. Yeah. And he'd have options this summer if that's something he wants to pursue.
Completely agree. Stay tuned to hear more on Gio. And again, like you said, he's an elite player. He's got elite talent, and the productivity is there with the stats you brought up. So I would not be surprised if he is playing Champions League, minimum Europa League, but Champions League for another club. Another league. So more to come on that. But Austin, I know some good stuff here at Gio. Now we have to kind of turn a little bit darker in this next topic.
Yeah.
Sadder news, right? With the injury, again, yet another injury to our guy, Daryl Dike. So first off, I hope he's doing all right. Mentally, it's a lot he's been through. You could see the pain on the field, his teammates surrounding him, and even the USMNT community, everybody talking about it and supporting him, and just all that he's gone through to get back to these points, and just climbing up the hill, right, and then kind of tumbling back down with the injuries. So looks like his Achilles, the coach mentioned, was pretty bad, and obviously he's going to have a lot to do to recover here in the summer and the off season, and more to come on the timeline of everything. But definitely out for the playoff push there, the promotion playoff push for West Brom. They're 3 points back, so it's come at a critical time, and yeah, it's just really unfortunate because when he's been on the field, he's been scoring a lot, but also when he hasn't, his sheer physical presence in the championship, it's perfect style, suits the manager and what West Brom does perfectly, and he still has been a critical piece, which is very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, it was so disappointing to see his injury this weekend. When he's been on the field this year, he's done really well for West Brom, and he's been a difference maker for them, right? He's gotten them back into that title race there, or back into that promotion race. And yeah, we just, we've seen him deal with these injuries over the past year or so. It kept him out of the World Cup, right? Or kept him away from having a true opportunity to get to the World Cup, this past winter. So yeah, just to see him go down with what looks like to be, an Achilles injury, long-term injury. It's just so disappointing, right? We just started talking about him a lot more now that he's been healthy as another striker option for the USMNT. And even though he didn't show out super well, this spring and in his game time that he got, I'm still, super excited for his future. And obviously, you don't want to be too negative, but definitely missing a year or probably close to it, and rehabbing this injury. It's just it's gonna take away time, right? And that's so unfortunate. I guess that's the only word I have for this injury right now.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly, summed it up perfectly. And where DK goes from now, like you said, just focus on the recovery and not to compare different injuries, different player timeframes, right? But I'm just thinking the top of my head back to Tim Weah's hard streak of injuries, and then how he kind of phased himself in as bit player, some spot minutes, still playing, every game or every other game, but maybe 15, 20 minutes here or there, and then a very slow, patient curve and arc back. Again, you're seeing a different scenario, right, with Gio, the playing time, but he's had some bad injuries too. And I think what DK has done with West Brom has been tremendous, but kind of as soon as he's back on the pitch, he's pretty much starting right away. And I don't think that's the right approach, especially after these now and Achilles being pretty serious. So maybe it is becoming with West Brom or like you said, I still think he has a really, really good, bright future if he stays healthy uh, in Europe or in MLS to just play maybe 20, 30 minutes for a good chunk. Maybe it's even a quarter or a third or a half of a season, but just staying healthy, impacting, getting some goals there, playing 20, 30 minutes, and then, seeing what you can do maybe the year after, the tail end of that season back. I just don't think there's any immediate need to rush because it's been pretty brutal with the string of injuries. I mean, just alone this season, 18 of the 41 games in championship, he's been injured. That's like 44%, roughly. So you're not even factoring the other season as well, right? So
Yeah.
I think you just need to take that phased approach to long story short.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pat. I think that's the biggest thing for any athlete in this situation is focusing on their health, focusing on rehabbing. And just it's a long road back, but it's definitely something that we know Daryl can do and is gonna really succeed with it.
Absolutely.
And yeah, once he's back, then it's up to him to kind of prove his doubters wrong and show people what we've been missing. So I guess we give
recovery on the road to recovery.
Road to recovery. That's right. Keeping it positive. And we wish Daryl all the best. And we'll be hearing from him, I'm sure. He's got what was it? He posted something on social media after the injury.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact words, but it was something about having a rough time and a cold night in Stoke, which is a phrase, in England. It's just a rough time going to Stoke during this period. So the weather. So he's in good spirits. He's joking about it, and we're seeing that from the outside. But I think he's got a really good head on his shoulders, a good family foundation, and he'll get through this.
Yeah, maybe we'll see him get back to his old TikTok ways and start, engaging with us on social media. Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
So, something else to look forward
Come on,
to.
young Americans abroad, Dike.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I want to pivot now to our next topic for today, and want to give a shout out to Alejandro Zendejas. So obviously a player that we started to really closely follow and really have enjoyed watching him in his minutes with the USMNT, watching him at Club America as well, and really has done a great job this year, right, Pat? As Club America right now in second place in the Clausura over there in Liga MX, and this weekend actually scored 2 goals for Club America in their 3-1 win over Cruz Azul. So back on the score sheet, again, really helping his team get the victory this weekend. Again, Pat, he's doing this with a broken nose and all, was masked up for this game, and really just looked himself, right? We really have come to know him as that shifty player, a player who's really confident, right, with the ball at his feet, confident taking shots and making things happen for his team. And that was no different in this game. So yeah, it just was really cool to see him again have a good performance and score 2 goals for his team this weekend.
Yeah, no, that's impressive and fantastic to see, especially as we head into busy summer and just next year or so with the USMNT. I think he's going to be a really critical player. Maybe not starter, but I think he's going to be a critical part of this core group moving forward if he keeps it up. And
yeah,
now with the USMNT national team radar that he's been on and playing well as Club America, what he's been able to do there, I'm hoping these string of performances and leading into maybe the next year or so could warrant a move abroad. I'm not saying maybe the Bundesliga right away or La Liga, but maybe like that Eredivisie level or on that path where he can use that technical ability skills, further develop, and then springboard from there. I still think he hasn't reached his full potential.
Yeah, and we've really enjoyed what we've seen from him so far. Right, Pat? We think he's he fit in really well, I thought, with the European players. I know there was some complaints about him being very one-footed, and that was something that maybe will be exposed more. The more teams get to see him, and again, if he does go abroad, right, maybe that's a weakness in his game that I'll have to look to work on. But I really like his attitude. I think he's someone that is driven, right? Is passionate, is probably looking for that next opportunity abroad. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how his season ends here. Again, with Club America being so close to first in the Clausura over there in Mexico. He's got a really good opportunity to help his team win a title this year and kind of finish the
That's
season
some
on a
good
high.
news in a bleak season with relegation battles and whatnot. To have somebody win a title, we'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. And it feels good to, win a key player, right? I feel like if he chose Mexico, he would be one of their, first team or first names probably called up in Liga
Yeah.
MX right now based on form.
Yeah.
And to have him playing for us, I think that's awesome. We won't see him, this week with the USMNT. It sounds like, Club America denied his call up, which makes sense, right? Was called up in the last camp. But maybe we'll see him this summer in Nations League, right?
Save him for Vegas. Save him for that semifinal.
That's right, baby.
Yeah, no, also I couldn't agree. He's jogged with the team really well. He has that connection, right, from the U17s and just youth soccer with Christian and company. So he knows some of those guys. And from the clips I've been watching too, he just has a fun personality about him. I think him and Weston kind of get along very well in terms of just kind of being more outgoing and kind of getting everybody motivated there and joking around. So yeah, I think he has that personality to really mesh and do well with the group there. And also, like you said, just that confidence and belief in himself where he won't be afraid to test himself to new heights and try new things and continue to grow.
Yeah, I couldn't say any better. So super excited to see, what his future holds. And we're going to keep an eye on him, Pat, right? We got still a good amount of games left to play. So now I guess let's head over. I want to pitch it to you, Pat, to start us off here. We want to talk a little bit about the USMNT roster that was called up for our game this week against Mexico.
Yeah.
And take it away, Pat. Where do you want to start?
Awesome. Remind me, it's the Continental Classico, right? Is that what we're calling it?
I believe so. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm still learning my definitions here of everything.
I still realized on after this weekend with some of the other European games. Oh yeah, that's right. We had a USMNT friendly, which is against Mexico, which is probably when you hear this rivalry. Initially, I was in that same boat as everybody else. Why is this being scheduled? It's just oversaturated. We're not getting the best players from both sides at this non-sanctioned FIFA window, but it's Monday. It's been a long work day, right? I'm excited to just sit back, relax on Wednesday night, and see us kick some butt. Another L, like I said at the beginning, and it's 10 o'clock Eastern time for us on the East Coast in Glendale, Arizona. Might be a little bit more pro-Mexico crowd there, but from both sides, the energy, the atmosphere will be fantastic for this historic rivalry, Austin. And the USMNT will be looking to extend their winning streak with Hudson, right? They had the games against Granada, El Salvador to get to the semi-finals against Mexico, setting that up in Vegas. And Mexico's kind of trending in the opposite direction in terms of rebuilding, not the best World Cup. They've been losing out to the USMNT in competitions and finals. And although it's a friendly, there's still that push, especially for Diego Coca there, to cement himself in this rivalry, get this Mexico team back up and running. And there's nothing to it. One of the most historic rivalries in the international game. So what are your thoughts, Austin? How are you feeling about the game this week?
Yeah, I was in the same boat as you. I think, going into this week or before this week, I should say, I wasn't super excited. And obviously the team that, got called up is primarily MLS based players. And, I'm more excited to see some of our European guys, to be honest, some of our younger guys abroad to get some game time. But at the end of the day, like you said, this week, I'm just excited, to see our team go up against Mexico, right? It's always a rivalry. It's always one of those games where we don't want to lose. We want to win. We want to, supplant ourselves and show our dominance. So, I'm super excited. And I think, again, the roster that got called up, even though it's not our first choice roster, I think there's still a few names that are going to be exciting to keep an eye on. And, Yeah, all in all, I'm excited to watch. I know it's a
Yeah.
little late for us on the East Coast, but I'm excited to watch.
I know I'm going to need not sponsored by Red Bull here, but
Hey,
need
me
a
and you
little.
both, buddy. Me and you both.
There you go. There you go. That's an interesting. I'll have to talk to you offline. I haven't seen that camp before. But yeah, snack or something, some energy, just something to look forward to midweek, right? And with the roster, Austin, I know there were some unique, different names that I'm not familiar with more on the goalkeeper side that we were talking about earlier. But is there anything that really stands out to you in terms of some players you are excited to see? You're hoping to get some minutes here. Some players maybe you're not looking forward to. What really stuck out to you seeing this roster?
Yeah, well, I think the first player that really stood out to me, which makes sense, but I guess it really just shows where he's at with his club right now, is Serginho Dest. It really sounds like Milan. His time at Milan has not gone super well, and both parties understand that there's no future with each other. So I guess thanks Milan for letting him come and play in this game, but also Milan are still in the Champions League, so I'd
I
love for
know.
him to be getting minutes either in Serie A or the Champions League.
Not
So
even registered for the Champions League squad, dude.
yeah, brutal. What else can you say? I mean, that's terrible. So yeah, I thought that was cool. At the very least, we get to see Serginho again. In the red, white, and blue. And then some of the youngsters, right, and the defenders, Josh Winder. We also called up Caleb Wiley. So I don't know if any of them will, or if either of them will get playing time in this game, but I thought it was cool to get them this experience and kind of be around, the senior national team guys. Some of them that are kind of more consistently in our regular call up group. So I thought that was cool. And then I'll actually pitch it to you. I don't want to take all the excited call-ups. What did you think?
I think I'm in full agreement with you. With the players you mentioned there, I would say midfield, nothing really strikes too much. I think Aiden Morris having another shot at him, getting some more exposure with the national team. He's been a role, but from the forwards, I'm actually excited to see some of the forwards there. Obviously, you have your usuals. Excuse me, Ferreira, right? Moores and company. Polirola will not be part of the group. He's actually injured. Pomacol came in. But I think Cade Cowell, I've liked what I've seen from him in some USMNT cameos, and he's been progressing very well. Excited to see his future too in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
If we'll be talking about him on the show more consistently. But he has that rivalry, right? With the his background there, right? The USMNT Mexico rivalry. I think he'll have some more to play for, with his family there. Just to prove on that rivalry stage, as well as Brandon Vasquez. And I'll let you take that a little bit more. And you're excited about Vasquez too, and what he's doing in some of the rumors, clubs he's been linked to. And also a storyline with him not receiving any word from Mexico. He said that's pretty much done.
Yeah.
Put in the coffin, it's over. There's been no contact, which I've been surprised about. And then Jordan Morris, I got to give a shout to him. I was a little bit critical of him, still am, but he's been delivering in the MLS. He just keeps delivering, and there's been some games, especially in qualifying, where he's come up clutch for us. It's subbing in the last few minutes and scoring a nice header there. I think for what we have and not being able to call the European guys in, I think the front line looks pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pat. I think forwards, we've got some really good options to pick from. I'm curious to kind of see how we set them up, right? We've got a lot of striker or central oriented players. Some of these forwards can play more towards the outside, but I'm curious to see how we set up. Midfield is a little lackluster for me. I don't think there's many strong options in this group. Again, I think Kellen Acosta has his weaknesses, but I think he provides some level of leadership. So I actually really, I'm okay with him, being kind of the main midfielder in this group.
I agree.
It feels weird
for
to
the
say that.
Physical nature of the rivalry, I agree.
Yeah, he really has done a good job in the past few years of kind of just getting into people's heads and I don't know, making a name for himself. In his time with the USMNT. So yeah, I'm curious to see who we start, right? Because Jackson Ewell we haven't seen for a long time. Alan Senora got no minutes. He got some minutes in
Yeah.
January, but then got no minutes last camp. James Sands, welcome back, James Sands, back in MLS.
Yep.
Curious to see what his involvement in this camp is. And then, like you said, Aiden Morris, another young player who's I've enjoyed watching him, but again, he only has one cap so far. Hasn't really been with this group much. He also brought in Paxton Pomacall to replace, Roldan and Areola.
Yeah.
So I don't know who gets the nod there. So yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be different, right? It's a one game experience, right? So, you're really probably going to put your best starting lineup out of this group out there. And I'm kind of curious to see who Anthony Hudson selects and what formation we play in, right?
And also, I think it's going to be a dogfight. I don't know if it's going to be the prettiest soccer or football with combinations and everything. Maybe there will be a few brilliant moments, but I could just see it being a total dogfight between both teams and just tackles flying in. Again, not the strongest midfield, bypassing that. Maybe some tricks and flicks from Des and company, but yeah, if you're having Acosta, he's great at what he does. Even Pomacall, I know they've played together. Pomacall and Morris at a time with the other team, but yeah, I don't know if we're going to see the ball progression, linking up plays, progressive passes there from the midfield versus what we've seen with our full strength USMNT group and even Mexico's side. I'm not really sure what to expect because they've been on a roller coaster of their own too. Yeah, I don't know what your thoughts are. I'm excited just for the rivalry, but yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty sloppy game in my opinion.
Yeah, and I was actually just looking at Mexico's team. So, I think it's a pretty decent team, right? They've got a good amount of some of their first team players. Obviously, more of their players play domestically, or at least, historically the past few years, more of their call-ups have kind of come from Liga MX. So yeah, I feel like they might be a little more jointed than we are. But still, you're going to have that natural competitiveness to this game, right? It's going to be a little chippy. It's going to be CONCACAF-y. So yeah, I'm excited to see who can kind of rise above the circumstances, right? I feel like, again, we've been able to get the better of Mexico recently in that department. They try their tricks, right? They'll try choking us, just ask Weston McKennie. But,
and Miazga's there. He doesn't take any of that, Austin. Miazga's back.
That's what I was going to say. I'm excited to see who steps up from our side. I feel like we got some, dogs of our own that can kind of go toe to toe. So
you don't know where I'm from, Austin.
Yeah, right. Take a note out of Clint Dempsey's page. Yeah.
Oh man, if I just said it how I did, everyone on the pitch would laugh at me. So don't take it from me.
That's fair.
No, we're excited though. We're excited. It's going to be a big game, and again, a breath of fresh air because, like we said too, there's been a lot. The injury with Dike, struggle for minutes, relegation battles. This game out of the blue, I think, will be just a nice refresh, reset for us as fans.
Yeah. What else do we have to look forward to on a Wednesday night, right? At 10 p.m. It's not like we have to sleep or anything. So
what's sleep?
Exactly. So yeah, it'll be fun to watch this one, and we'll report back on it next week. Hopefully things go well, and we can take a positive away from this camp, and start that whole conversation up about Anthony Hudson again. Post this game, right? Is he the one? Is he going to be?
The guy keeps winning. The guy keeps winning. Unbelievable. Especially if he wins this, and then he wins that semifinal against Mexico and goes on. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens with all those games. But that's all for this part of our episode. Now let's head over to Quick Kicks.
And to round out the episode with Quick Kicks here, I only got one, Austin, but an important one. Ricardo Pepi. Choo-choo. Get on the train. Right. He scores again. His 12th goal this season for FC Groningen. Saving them barely, potentially, from relegation, but without him, they would be doomed. But yeah, he's had 7 goals in the last 10 matches for his club and country. He's on fire. He's on fire, and hopefully another goal like this, like we said, helps him get out of those shackles that Augsburg has on him.
Yeah, he's doing his best Luis Suarez impersonation.
Yeah, man.
Continuing to score.
Let's
for
go.
Groningen. Yeah, cool. I have one quick kick as well this weekend. So mine is actually not a Ya. It's an old American abroad, and that would be Pellegrino Matarazzo.
Ooh, coach.
So yeah, after Hoffenheim's draw with Bayern this weekend, their 1-1 draw. Pellegrino took an interview and basically said, he said directly, at some point, I do feel like it's time to give back to soccer in the U.S. So this was in relation to being asked about, the current USMNT head coaching vacancy. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like he could be a good fit. I feel like he hasn't had any involvement with U.S. soccer in the past, which maybe is a really good and positive thing. In this moment, we've seen him have success, right, in the Bundesliga.
Yeah. Dude,
obviously,
they were in dead. I don't know where they were in the black hole, and they've come out and just been on a roll. And who's your guy that you were dying on the hill with that's on that team?
That's right. Man's looking pretty good now. So all those teams that passed on him. It's John Brooks. Yeah, he's looked pretty good so far. So yeah, what do you think, Pat? Would you want Pellegrino Matarazzo from all that we know about him so far?
I think he's a good option, at least to interview. I don't think it's clear cut. It's tough to say. He's done okay, but he's also had some rough moments, and maybe not the highest level of clubs. But also, he's been in a really, really good league and has done some good things. So I would say it would be like if that went through, I would say it would be like a B minus rating, in terms of getting him. I think that's still positive. I just don't know too much about his kind of coaching style and how to translate to the national side of things.
Yeah, I think that's a fair criticism, but I think the things I like about him is that he's got experience, right, at the highest level. He's coaching the Bundesliga for several years now. He's also American, right, which, say what you want, but it seems like if you want to get the best out of these players, I feel like you need someone who can relate to them. And yeah, he's someone with a fresh perspective. So I don't know. He's not part of that old boys regime, right? Not part of the U.S. soccer, legacy club, so to speak. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe he is a good option, someone to consider this summer. Well, that's all for episode today, guys. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel down below.
And don't forget, if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, always putting out quality content for you guys.
That's right. And this episode's also available in podcast form on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. So go check us out there.
And Austin, we got the Continental Classico, right? We've had some ups and downs with our Yas. We got some of the domestic guys coming in, hopefully saving the day. Score prediction. What are your thoughts?
Oh, goodness. Hey, 2-0, baby. 2-0.
Ooh, I like it.
Why not? Yeah.
I like it. I'll go a similar a win. I'm going to say 2-1. I think it's going to be 1-1, and one of our guys is going to step up in the last 5-10 minutes, sub on, and score a header off of a corner or something, or free kick. I think that's how it's going to go down.
Okay. My vote in that situation is Serginho Dest just dancing around everyone, slaloming through the box, taking a nice curler. Awesome. Yeah.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. But again, it's a friendly, right? But we have a lot to look forward to. We got the Vegas semifinal CONCACAF Gold Cup against Mexico, and our players hopefully surviving relegation. Or you might have to make a Ya shirt on our store that says instead of trophies won, players that have survived relegation. It's a hard
one. Yikes! Yeah, different circumstances than a few years ago, but yeah, we're willing to adapt. But hey, all this coalesces, comes together in one moment, right? And that is we're all pushing. One day we will win the World Cup.